Officials in North Florida have released 911 calls from the day of that racist attack in Jacksonville. We're also learning more about the moments leading up to the deadly shooting. Investigators releasing multiple videos, including this one of the suspect at a different store. So just before he killed 3 black people at a Dollar General store, he apparently stopped at this Family Dollar store. The shooter killed Angela Michelle Carr, Gerald Gallion, and A.J. Laguerre Jr. Now a federal hate crimes investigation is underway. CNN's Brian Toth joins us live from Jacksonville. Brian, what's the latest on the investigation?
Well, Boris, you mentioned the 911 call, and that is the latest. We just got that a few minutes ago. Very dramatic audio from this 911 call. The call itself occurred at about 1:50 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday afternoon. This was after the shooting had actually occurred, but the father of the suspect calling 911 to report basically that his son was missing and that he was concerned about him. The son had left the family's home a couple of hours earlier. Here's an excerpt of that 911 call with the father speaking to the dispatcher.
All right, and does your son go anywhere that you know of? Is there, like, common places he goes to?
No, he doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, he doesn't go anywhere?
Yeah, he flunked out of Flagler College, moved home about a couple years ago. Had a job for a while at Home Depot and lost that job and pretty much been living in his room. We do know that he's getting receiving psychiatric help.
The father also told the 911 dispatcher that the son was on medications and that he had stopped taking those medications, the father believed, sometime in late July because the pill bottle was still full. Just again, for the record here, this 911 call was made at 1:53 p.m. According to the timeline given by law enforcement. The last person at the dollar store here who was shot and killed at about 1:13 p.m. So the 911 call coming, about 40 minutes after the last shooting had occurred here at the dollar store.
What's up with it? It is Coffee tapping back in, man, and it's some horrible, evil, hateful-ish right here, man. Thoughts and prayers to everyone affected, the lives lost in Jacksonville. And it's wild, man. It sounds like the dad really knew what was what. Like, think about that, y'all. You hear the 911 calls. He calls, son left, you know what I mean? And he's like, something happened. He just knew right away. And by the time the dad had already called 911, people had already lost their lives, man. And then apparently the dad got some kind of message from his son. And he went in there and found the note and his twisted, crazy-ass manuscript. Just a evil, racist sack of ish who spent his life in his room, depressed, plotting on killing people. And what's even crazier on top of all this, y'all, I don't know if you guys saw this, he wanted to kill Eminem and Mgk. And you see some little passages or whatever the fuck you want to call it taken from this evil sack of garbage manuscript about Eminem and Mgk, and you know why he wanted to kill them on his racist ish that he was pushing. He calls Eminem the white guy from D12, Ken Kniff, all this and that, an honorary N-word with a hard R, and just more or less a lot of N-words, hard R's. And, you know, like he's saying Eminem was the one pushing that out to the white community. And, you know, then he goes on to talk how Eminem fell off and his music became trash because later on he just became a liberal lame or something like that. And then same kind of ish he's talking about Mgk, you know, that like more or less both of them were white dudes within the hip-hop world, and you know that they're white N-words, man. And he says with Mgk, he doesn't directly say it, but based on some of these writings and passages or whatever, you know, authorities are theorizing that this evil racist piece of garbage who, again, if y'all didn't hear it during, you know, the news clip and all that, after he killed a few people, he did turn the gun on himself and kill himself. You know, they're like theorizing that he may have possibly been close enough to MGK at one point to take a shot and kill him, or something to that extent. You know, they're just putting this together off all the ish that was in this guy's room, you know, when he texted the father and more or less, I guess, said he did something, and the dad went in there and found all this ish, all this crazy rhetoric in journals that he was keeping, and you know, all this racist propaganda ish that he was pushing. Man, it's some scary motherfucking ish. You know, you often hear guns don't kill people, you know, bad people with guns kill people, or in this case, evil, racist, crazy, bad person with a gun killed some people. And they saw him at another dollar store as well, where they thought maybe he was scouting out that store to possibly kill some people there, but he didn't, man. But I don't know, man, just terrible situation. But I really wonder about the dad. It just seems wild to me, you know, that it's not just like, oh, he was a little bit down, we didn't know it was this bad. You hear the dad like, yo, he's been on meds, he flunked out of school, he couldn't hold a job, he's been spending his life in his room, he stopped taking his meds, you know, like just a lot of stuff. And I'm not trying to flat out blame the dad, but it just seems like the dad wasn't too surprised by this, and he knew something was really wrong with his son. And I don't know, man, you know, like, hey, get him committed, put him in the nut house. Maybe he had been there before and they let him out, but I don't know, man. It just, the fact that the dad knew when the son wasn't around, like, oh man, did he go do something? It just really has me wondering, thinking if the dad knew more. You know what I mean? And what do you guys think about that, as far as motherfuckers who go out and kill people and stuff like that? What do you guys think about if the family had some kind of knowledge to where they quite possibly could have stopped it all? Do you guys feel like in some instances that maybe they should be charged, or do you think that's too much, or, you know, it's something that should be reviewed on a case-to-case basis? I mean, I wonder if there is a law that makes that possible. I mean, I guess possibly if the person directly said it right to you that that's what they were going to do and you did nothing about it. Is there a law in that sense? Or if there isn't, should there be? Jump in the comments, let me know. But you hear the story here. Oh, terrible, horrible, unfortunately true story. What's the guy's name? Chaz Palmatier or whatever. 21. Was that his age? Jacksonville, Florida. Went out with, you know, a racist motive. Killings. Kind of reminds me of up in Buffalo, man, which was so crazy and fucked up. It's horrible for any of this ish that happened. But me being from Buffalo, New York, when I heard that, you know, it kind of hit me a little different. And, you know, you found out that the dude wasn't even really from Buffalo. He was out from the sticks a little bit and made his way to the inner city, you know, to also target members of the black community. It's just so sick and so twisted. And, you know, we know these evil bastards are out there in the blogosphere, and, you know, they're linking up, they're talking to each other on different platforms and plotting things and stuff like that. It's just also sick and twisted, man. So let me know your thoughts. It's fucking crazy, man. This evil sack of ish did what he did, and he wanted to go after Eminem and Mgk for them, you know, by his crazy racist evil logic, you know, I guess influencing the white community with hip-hop music. Like, what the fuck, man? So thanks for watching. Again, RIP to those lives lost, and prayers out to those affected in Jacksonville, Florida. Fuck this evil sack of ish. Like, going out hurting people, man, killing people. Be safe, everyone. And if you have a family member who's bugging or tripping, you know, like, pay attention. Or just a friend, anyone. You know, that's what's wild in this situation. Aside from this evil ish this guy was pushing, it seems to me like people really knew that something was going to happen.